So good day once again. Today we will go on to talk about the 12 derivative combinations that result in the sixth house. So just like previous episodes of this 13-part series, this will be available for my YouTube channel subscribers. So if you want to learn how to join this YouTube channel as a member, please refer to the link below in the description box. And there are actually other perks on top of having early access to videos, just like in this series. So now let's move on to the topic at hand without further ado. So we are talking about the sixth house. So if we actually start with the sixth house as our main house or area of focus, this is the first divisional house from the sixth. So what we are trying to combine here is the first house or the first divisional house of from the sixth in its meaning. So what this can tell me is that personal path and the self is expressed through what I'm about to mention are very sixth house related stuff: self-analysis, body awareness, body-mind connection, and daily rituals, assimilation of food from one's diet, practicing ceremonial magic. There's also sixth house in its essence, in meaning. Being in the armed forces is also a sixth house activity. Working in a cafeteria or cafe, a butler, a busboy, a cleaner, a cook, a craftsman, a dentist, a dietitian, a doctor, a domestic servant or hired help, an employee, a healer is also a sixth house occupation. Working in the labor department is also sixth house in essence, and also a firefighter and other life-saving services as well. So the personal path and the self is expressed through all these possible things. On top of that, the physical condition, appearance, and first impressions, attitudes, and characteristics of is geared towards one's employment, care and body of one's system altogether. And it also talks about mind, body, awareness, and connection. Also, one's self-awareness may develop via one's experience of illnesses and diseases, daily habits and activities, and interactions with one's hired help, servant, employees, co-workers, animals, and pets. And last but not least, this can also be talking about one notices right off the bat what people do for a living. So this can be the several meanings of the first divisional house away from the sixth. So now let's move on to our area of concern being the fifth. So this is two divisional houses away from the fifth because we want to end at the sixth house. So what we're trying to do here is trying to delineate using the derivative house method the second divisional house away from the fifth. Over here, so this can be talking about bringing one's need for physical safety and assurance to one's need to have fun, be creative, take risks, and also interaction with one's children, particularly the firstborn. Like we mentioned in several previous episodes, the fifth house cusp essentially or in essence pertains to our firstborn child. That's our own. And this may also be talking about the family friend of our children or one's children, particularly the firstborn. Why family friend? Because family friend, I think in previous episodes, I have mentioned before that family is 4 divisional houses away. if we count from the 11th means a friend. So hence the combination of family, friend. The 4th from the 11, we end up with the second house cusp. And now we are counting 2 divisional houses away. So hence that's when the family friend type of meaning comes in. And this is the family friend of one's children. This can be general, but particularly this pertains to our firstborn in particular. This may also be talking about personal resources and expenses on one's children, romantic partners, speculative investments, hobbies, artistic or sportive endeavors or pursuits. Another variation of this meaning can be alternative ways of making money can be viewed as a hobby or what is practiced during one's downtime as well. And another meaning here can also be one's child or inner child can be viewed as a cash cow medium because cash cow is 2 divisional houses away. So in other words, there can be some kind of involvement with child pageantry, modeling and acting. Also some sort of like parading and showing off or some kind of performative aspects that's involved as well. This is the 2nd from the 5th because you actually gain some tangible income like earned income and resources, all those stuff. Anything that's 2nd or 2 divisional houses away also can be gifts and talents in certain stuff as well. And for people who want to delve in more to look at this particular combination, which is these 2 divisional houses away from the 5th, so that we end up at the 6th house cusp, you can examine the chart of Gypsy Rose Blanchard because her 6th house is in the sign of Pisces, and there is something that goes on in her 5th house as well. Hint is something to do with the mom, by the way, who is benefiting of her from some medical or health related stuff. And she's being paraded around so that there's more endorsements or deals, tangible income stuff. So another possible combination of meanings here using this derivative method, the 2nd from the 5th, can be the gifts or the personal resources or innate self-worth and esteem of one's children, particularly the firstborn, but this also can be one's adopted children as well. Adopted children also belongs to the 5th house domain. Another variation of this meaning can be one feels ownership or possession of one's children like an object. So there's an objectification because it's 2 divisional houses away, which is linked to the 2nd house in terms of meaning. Another variation of meaning here can be the personal income, which can be accrued via one's urges to influence, produce, or be special. And also escaping from responsibilities, and also something to do with games, gambling, and speculations and risky investments as well. So this is what I have for you in this combination, the 2nd from the 5th. So now let's move backwards into our area of concern being the 4th house. So this is 3 divisional houses away to reach the 6th. So this is 3 divisional houses from the 4th, or the 3rd from the 4th. This is what we are trying to delineate here. So this can be talking about the environment, mentality, short journeys taken by one's siblings, aunts and uncles, cousins and neighbors, of one's paternal figure growing up. Because the 4th can be one's paternal figure growing up, so is the 3rd from the 4th. So this brings in all the siblings, aunts and uncles, in other words, cousins of our paternal figure growing up, or the neighbors of. And if we want to slap on another third or three divisional houses away in terms of meaning, that's how I combine the environment, mentality, short journeys taken by all those people. Another combination of meaning here can be the siblings, aunts and uncles, cousins and relatives, and neighbors of one's maternal great-grandmother. And I think I have explained before why the fourth house cusp, which is our area of concern, represents the maternal great-grandmother. And this is because if we actually start off with our mother, which is the 10th house cusp, in most cases, that is, maternal great-grandmother is our mother's mother's mother. So it's 10 derivative houses from the 10th, and then we end up at the 7th, and then we got to count 10 divisional houses away. This represents our maternal great-grandmother. And another combination here can be contracts that concern property or real estate. Another meaning here can be helping one's country to gather information or intel. So this can be someone who actually works for national security. It can be in the capacity of a spy, possibly, or someone who is managing data systems for the country's security as a kind of defense as well. Someone who is reporting, discussing, and writing about one's family or ancestral topics, and also penning down someone's private thoughts. Also can be the third from the fourth as well. And this may also be talking about one's communication style is personal, emotional, and private in nature. And one's communication style is influenced by one's family, home, cultural inheritance, and ancestral roots as well. Another more, variety of this third from the fourth combination can be the communicating and gathering of information helps one to feel rooted and grounded and secure. So the next combination here will start off from the third house. So this is 4 divisional houses away to hit the 6. So we need to delineate and combine the fourth from the third. So this can be talking about home is where people come and go. This can be inferring some kind of halfway house kind of establishment, fourth from the third. Or real estate often comes up as a topic of conversation that one is interested in. Okay? And another variation of this meaning can be one's sense of belonging, early home life, early conditioning, experience from one's paternal figure, growing up, and also one's origins as well. So what I've just mentioned comes from the 4 divisional houses away from the third. All those issues that I just mentioned can be always be preoccupying one's mind, which may kind of jog someone's curiosity to find out more. Maybe someone is thinking about their DNA ancestry. This can be someone who actually goes on to do like a 23andMe or other similar tests. Because of this innate curiosity that's coming from the third house. Third house is that Gemini house. And another variation of this meaning can be the home property of a sibling figure, an aunt or uncle figure, a cousin figure, or a neighbor figure, that they live in. The fourth from the third. So now let's move on to the next combination. So we start off with the area of concern being the second house. So this is 5 divisional houses away from the second to hit the 6th house cusp. That's what we want. So the 5th from the second. This is what we are exploring in this episode. So this can be talking about one's creative self-expression or hobby is one's personal resource or gift that one can profit off from. This may also be talking about finding creative ways to make money. That's also slightly more risky. This may also be talking about the involvement in the arts, music, dance, sports, and theater are all ways that you can earn a living and pay the bills. This may also be talking about one's love for comforts and security. This may also be talking about children pleasures and speculations of a family friend. Family friend is 4 divisional houses away from the 11th, hence the second. Or this may also be talking about one liking to take risk and gamble with one's own money. So someone who is very into gambling is the 5th from the second combination, which we end up with the 6th. This may also be talking about fun and relaxation via being financially self-sufficient or stable. And last but not least, one's children, particularly the firstborn, spontaneously gives you pocket money. Okay, this can be also one of the variation in meaning. So now let's move on to the area of concern being the first house. So this is 6 divisional houses away from the first. That's how we end up with the 6th house cusp. This is what we want. And so it's the 6th divisional house away from the first. So what this is telling me is that which serve something or harvesting something. So this can be coming from the first house, which is our area of concern. So if I were to combine, the whole sentence will be that which serve or harvesting the formation of an image, persona, behavior, mannerisms, and approach to life. This may also be talking about daily routines, revolve around maintaining one's appearance. So a variation of this meaning can be being health conscious is one of the first things that people notice about yourself. This may also be talking about relationships with animals, employees, co-workers, gives shape to one's approach or outlook in life. And last but not least, this can also be talking about mind-body connection and diseases begin manifesting when one actually loses one's own sense of direction in life as well. So now let's quickly move on to the next combination. So we start off with our area of concern being the 12th house. So this is 7 divisional houses away to hit the 6th house cusp. So it's the 7th from the 12th. So what this is telling me is that the complement or one's paternal grandfather or maternal grandfather, sorry, let me repeat this. The complement of or one's paternal grandfather or maternal grandmother is the one that helps you to escape from reality. That person may be feeding your vices as well, or self-destructive tendencies and habits. So another variation of this meaning can be choosing a partner who makes one aware of the ways one sabotages oneself both externally or internally. This may also be talking about a partner. This can be both business or personal. Is one who is very into dream work, prayer and meditation, forays into the paranormal, who displays compassion and empathy towards those in need, or who is spiritual and otherworldly. But on the flip side, this can also mean that he or she may have self-destructive or self-sacrificial tendencies as well. Another combination of meanings I can come up with here will be the desire for coupling can be one's potential downfall or self-undoing. This can also mean a committed, this can be a marriage partner who ghosts one at the altar. I have met some clients in which the partner-to-be basically disappears on the day of marriage at the altar, and they do have that seventh from the 12th combination that exists in their chart, by the way. This can also mean one who often have conflict-filled dreams that often it can be violent, but it's just conflict-filled in essence. Last but not least, 7 divisional houses away from the 12th. This can be someone who used to be in jail. That means you're married to an ex-convict of sorts, or you consciously couple with an ex-convict or someone who has gone to jail, something in that capacity, or someone who works as a prison warden. Prison warden is also a very 12th house kind of occupation here. So if we actually move forward and start off from our area of concern being the 11th, this is 8 divisional houses away from the 11th. That's how we end up with the 6th house cusp for this episode. So the 8th from the 11th can be talking about the investment, both financially and emotionally, goes into connecting with like-minded people, people with similar social reform attitudes, people who share the same long-term hopes and dreams and aspirations and goals like yourself. And this may also be talking about gaining friends or building up your social network circle, or in simpler terms, building an audience for yourself. And another variation of 8 divisional houses away from the 11th here can be experiencing emotional entanglements and also deep, intimate emotional exchanges with friends with benefits, acquaintances, associates. One's stepchildren comes from the 11th, and also happy hour buddies as well. Another combination of the 8th from the 11th can be the death and rebirth, or crises and emergency situations, and also legacy as well of one's friends, acquaintances, friends with benefits, stepchildren. And also, the 11th house here can also represent one's daughter or son-in-law as well. It comes from the 11th house cusp. Another variation of this combination can be bringing one's taxes or bank loans and other financial debts to groups and organizational interactions that you are involved with. This may also be talking about having a sexual approach to your friends or happy hour buddies, and so on and so forth. You know, all those people that I've mentioned that belongs to the 11th house cusp. Another variation of this combination can be the joining or merging with an occult group. This may also be talking about one's attitude to life and death affects one's capacity to become an icon of sorts. And last but not least, this may also represent the needing to share one's intensity and vulnerabilities regarding social reforms, causes, and trends as well. So if we actually go to the next house, this is 9 divisional houses away from the 10th. 10th being our area of concern. This is how we end up with the 6th house as the resultant one. So the 9th from the 10th, this can be talking about the purpose behind one's need to do something. From the 10th, this can be the purpose behind one's need to have accolades, achievements out in the world, to be ambitious. So this is one of the potential combination. This may also be talking about becoming a guru on the topic of corporate culture as well. Religious and philosophical inclinations can also influence one's professional, vocational, and career decisions. The 10th house here can also represent one's father-in-law because it's the fourth divisional house away from the 7th. 7th represent our partner, and anything that's four divisional houses away can represent the father figure of whatever house that we start off with. In this place, our partner. So father-in-law is represented by the 10th house cusp. This may also be talking about the interactions with people from other or foreign cultures. They actually play a part in the profession that you identify as your true one in the end. This may also be talking about being a global traveler is what one is widely known for, or what one may receive awards and recognitions for. This may also be talking about being a global traveler is also your worldly ambitions, and this is also the public life that you lead for yourself. So another variation of this meaning can be one's higher mind, philosophy, truths, journalistic tendencies stems from one's maternal or shaping parent that you grew up with. Because the 10th house cast usually we attribute it to the maternal figure growing up, our mother, or motherly figure growing up. So if we move forward into the 9th house as our starting point, as our area of focus, this is 10 divisional houses away from the 9th. That's how we hit the 6th house cusp. This is what we want to end up with. So it's the 10th from the 9th. So this can be talking about one's career, vocation, profession involve expanding horizons, traveling, publishing, teaching, consulting, advising, and exploring foreign cultures and belief systems. So this can also mean becoming a priest, priestess, astrologer, or metaphysician as one's career. This may also be talking about an authoritative approach to religion, faith, and belief as well. This may also infer that someone who has a lot of professional interactions and relations with universities, adult learning centers, churches, and publishers as well. This can also be someone who's a parent to someone from another country. This can also be someone who's a shaping parent to one's grandchildren, because one's grandchildren is actually 5 divisional houses away from the 5th. 5th representing our children in general, and anything that's 5 divisional houses away means their children, children of our children's. So 5th from the 5th equals the 9th. So our grandchildren is represented by our 9th house cusp. And last but not least, the reputation, profession, standing, and social status of one's sibling-in-law or step-sibling is also the 9th house domain in its meaning. So now let's move on to the 8th house as our starting point or area of focus. This is 11 divisional houses away, so that we end up at the 6th. So it's 11th from the 8th we are talking about, or trying to delineate here. This can be talking about keeping one's group involvements or institutional involvements hidden from sight. This may also be talking about groups, causes, and trends belonging to themes relating to the occult, attitudes towards tantra, sex, death, and rebirth. From the 8th, this can be taboo subjects as well. This can be pertaining to taxes and bank loans. This can be talking about issues that relate to self-regeneration, inheritance, or partners, resources, values, and money, for that matter. This may also be talking about connecting or interacting with strangers because of one's sexual or intimate experiences. So this may indirectly infer someone who probably may be involved with like a sex addiction focus group, because a focus group can be talking about the 11 divisional houses away, and then the sex addiction can be coming from the 8th house in essence. So we have actually reached the last combination. Yes. And so we start from our area of focus being the 7th house. So this is 12 divisional houses away, so that we end up at the 6th house as our resultant one. So the 12th from the 7th. What this can tell me is that the subjective factors and the releasing of grief, sorrow, and karma, experiencing solitude and escaping from reality from something. 12 divisional houses away can also be talking about psychic activity. It also can be creating hidden enemies. 12 divisional houses away can also be talking about indulging in drugs and alcohol. On another level, 12 divisional houses away, this can be talking about becoming self-aware of self-sabotaging tendencies, be it internally or externally. This may come via cooperation, conflict, debate, significant partnerships, and also negotiations. So 12th house matters linked to the 7th house in essence, in its meaning. This may be also talking about experiences with loss and sadness, helps to fuel a business venture with someone. This may also be talking about experiencing a complete enmeshment, merging, or bliss with one's partner. This can be both personal or business. This may also be talking about being self-sacrificial within one's significant relationships as well. Okay, let's just do one more. Another meaning here can be the desire to escape reality affects one's ability to maintain a serious or significant partnership or relationship. So this is what I have for you regarding the 12 different phases or derivative meanings of the 6th house cusp. So stay tuned for the next one, in which we will go on to explore the 12 different phases or derivative meanings of the 7 house cusp. So do consider joining this channel as a member, and you will find the link to do so in the description box below. So till then, take care and see you soon.